What's going down, people? How you doing? CK Pride coming at you, and I want to hit you with an attempt at clarity because sometimes it's not easy, and most times it's hard to reach people. So I want to hit you with the concept of money. Think about money in terms of what your experience in life is, tells you the definition in your mind should be, because everyone's definition in life is based on their individual experiences. If I say apple and you never experienced an apple, you have no concept of what an apple is, and there's no definition that pops into your mind. So everything exists in your head based on your experiences. And then you project from your head outward in terms of what that is. So if I say money, what is that through your experience? Because all of us have different experiences. So if you individually define based on personal experience, money can be a lot of different things and has been a lot of different things over time. So different forms of currency, when we transcend down from money, different forms of currency can be accepted in different places at different times. So what I try to do is have all forms of currency. So no matter what place or time I find myself in, I can still effectively pay using that form of currency. So the challenge is to stack respectable levels of currency in multiple forms. So if you're a paper lover, stack a lot of paper. Challenge, because it's engineered scarcity and limited access. So not very many people have a lot of paper. Next thing, gold. You have to convert paper to gold in order to stack it. So the first problem creates the second problem. Same thing with silver. Then you have Bitcoin. Conversion in Bitcoin is the same as conversion in gold. So if you don't have a lot of paper, you can't acquire a lot of Bitcoin. And then in terms of investment Bitcoin, it's hard to find an investment worth your time and energy that actually puts you in that next level. Yeah, I do Bitcoin investment, but it's what, $100 here, $100 there. It's never $1,000 there, $1,000 here. So there's another challenge. And then when it comes to investments in general, if you find a dividend stock, do you tell somebody else about the stock that's paying very well? Most people say, hell no. I keep that shit to myself until it no longer pays. So the selfish nature of human hearts and the greed nature that's built into the monetary money system propagates from person to person, and everyone looks at it from a personal perspective instead of a community perspective. The community perspective within money doesn't exist. The each one teach one, or the community support, the grassroots from the ground up engineer success doesn't exist, because people don't subscribe to it, propagate it, or believe in it. So what it leaves is the negative side of paper money when it comes to how very few have, a lot of people have not. That's the paper money game. The paper money game is engineered scarcity and limited access. So the less than 1% at the top has all of the money and the power, and everybody else, the 80% rest of the world, has to fight for the scraps. They have to fight for what's left over. If less than 1% of the world is holding 80% of the fucking money supply, then the 99.9% of everybody else has to fight for what the fuck is left. And that's the way the monetary system is set up today when it comes to money. So when people only reference money to their personal experiences and their engineered experience is based on lack, then that means that they're not open to gold. They're never going to be open to silver. They're not even considering Bitcoin as another form of currency. So your only experience is your lack and how hard it is for you to get paper. And that form of low existence means that you don't understand that paper is a negative asset, a liability that continues to lose value every single day because of the way paper is printed and the way the value is stripped out of paper when it comes to oversupply. None of that shit even fucking makes sense to you. I just spoke Spanish to all the people who are listening, because your existence can't even open your mind to the devaluation of paper and the inflation taxation, or the way inflation steals money out of your pocket. You can't even open your mind to that, because all you know is that you exist on a low level of limited access where you're constantly fighting for access to paper. And you only see paper as the form of money that can provide you with access. You can never elevate to gold. You can never elevate to silver. You can never elevate to Bitcoin. You can't see other forms of currency because you're fixated on chasing the limited form or limited access to paper. So it's a negative cycle of control that ends up creating a debt slavery system of people who basically stay in this circular motion of trail chasing. Limited access, engineered scarcity, limited knowledge. And we're in a pay-to-live planet, so currency is the method you have to use to pay for access to anything you want in this life. So it would make sense if the bottom feeders who are fighting for dollars and killing people for access, it would make sense if those people would get a fucking clue and actually say, oh, these other forms of currency will actually provide me with a greater purchasing power and allow me to better play in this pay-to-live world. So if I'm gonna knock somebody in the head for some for some paper, then maybe I can get more for my money or get more purchasing power for my access if I knock somebody in the head for silver. Or maybe I should get past the selfish heart of me and fucking work for something and figure out how to put effort into something that's going to provide me access to silver, access to gold, or access to Bitcoin. Because different forms of money have play in different locations. You know what I'm saying? When you're on the internet, Bitcoin has a play because it's the internet of money. It is internet's money. When you're in higher purchasing situations where you're buying something of greater value, then gold has a play, because gold holds value in higher forms through smaller access. So same thing could be said with silver. If you're in a medium access, silver holds value and could have a play. So the paper monetary system is not the only form of money within the monetary game. And I know that's not something that I can open most people's mind to, because you only see life and currency based on your experiences. So if you only experience chasing that minimal access to paper, then you won't open your mind to nothing else. And I realize that. But I also can tell you this: your limited access and experience has zero to do with the broad experience of the entire world and the fact that there are other forms of money and currency in the world. So Don't think that your limited access means that they don't exist. It just doesn't exist to you. So I want to make that clear for the people who can't open their mind to gold, to silver, or to Bitcoin. You don't experience it, but that doesn't mean that the experience doesn't exist. That doesn't mean that that form of money has no value. It may not have value to you. But in the world of pay to live, it does have value and it does have a play. You just have no access or concept of understanding of how to make that play.